Walking these streets, shadows fall, lost in a world, echoes call, searching for light, voices true, St. James Church in the heart of the blue. Glorify God, nurture all, share the gospel, hear the call. That is what we do at St. James, breaking chains, singing new names, pushing through the night, feeling small, seeking the answers stall.
Okay, you ready?
We're ready.
All right. Well, welcome to our 75th anniversary conversations. We're here this afternoon with the Sipes to talk about their experience here at St. James. And so, how did you guys become members of St. James?
Well, I was born into it. So my parents were married here in like 78, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I was born in 86. So
Okay.
my family was already here. I didn't have a
Oh, okay.
choice.
And I married into it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, when did you guys get married?
2014.
2014.
Okay.
So that's a fun story.
Oh,
So
okay.
I am Catholic
Yes.
and Beckah's Lutheran, and so when we were going through the premarital process, we had kind of talked to a bunch of different people and decided we were going to do the marriage prep in both the Lutheran faith and the Catholic faith.
Okay.
So we did all the premarital stuff with a priest and with a pastor,
Carlson.
Pastor Carlson. We actually drove to, he was in Ohio.
He still
Right.
is.
Well, you
yeah.
drove clear to Ohio?
Yep.
We drove there once, and then he was here because his daughter was still going to IWU. So he was
Oh.
here some. So
Yeah, that's not a
Yeah.
short drive to where he's at in Ohio.
it wasn't too bad. It was neat
Yeah.
to see his new church. He has a really cool church there.
Sure.
So the plan originally was to have Pastor Carlson do our wedding and then also have the Catholic priest that we did be involved as well. And that was right around the time that Pastor Larman came into the church.
Oh, okay.
And he was very insistent that because he was the pastor, he was going to do it. So at our
Oh,
wedding,
okay.
we actually had two pastors and a priest. So
Really?
So Pastor Carlson got to do like the sermon part, and then Pastor Larman did all the legal stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then the priest maybe read some stuff.
yeah, Father Sean read a few things. And so
Oh,
it was,
okay.
it was a very
And then
interesting
It's unique.
setup. Yeah.
And then Sean Willman was the best man, so we had
Oh,
another
really?
pastor there too.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny. That's really...
It's a very blessed wedding day.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is pretty cool.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. And you have two kids,
Yes.
which
Yep.
we're going to meet later.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that, I don't know if this is further into the conversation, but we had Mia baptized here at St.
Oh.
James.
Yes.
But with Leo, we had him baptized at the Catholic Church.
Oh, okay.
So again, we've kind of, at least early on in our marriage, we were trying to kind
Sure.
of go there for a while before we had kids. We were doing Mass and
Oh,
church
wow.
and kind of doing
Wow.
double duty every Sunday, and it got to be a little much. And so over the last several years, probably since COVID, I guess we've kind of transitioned more to our focus on St. James.
Oh, okay.
We stopped doing that the year that Mia was old enough to start the like preschool social or Sunday school class, because that seemed we wanted her to be in Sunday school, and if
Oh.
we went to Mass, we didn't have time for that. So
Gotcha.
I wasn't sad to stop doing that.
Oh,
It's nice to just be here.
oh. Yeah. A different experience. In
Oh,
in
yeah.
both places,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's nice. So now, what things have you done here? What positions and what things have you done?
So I am currently on the youth board, but we used to always do the sound and visual.
Really?
Like, yeah. So
Oh,
I have a background. in
Yeah.
that. So in high school and in college, I worked in the theater
I did not know that.
Did a little bit of AV work and that sort of stuff. So it was something that I wouldn't say passionate about, but just was familiar enough, and so I enjoyed kind of doing that while we were doing it. But then again, you have kids and things just get a little interesting, especially with babies and young kids, and so we were fortunate enough at that time to kind of step away, and there were others who could take over. But I also spent a brief period of time on the youth board as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And then I was on the properties board.
Yep.
So got to come shovel snow and change air filters and light bulbs and just handiwork around the church, which was fun. So
yeah.
Sure.
I used to work in the nursery when that was a thing, way back when. My mom and I would do that together.
Oh, wow.
It was a long time ago.
Cool. That's cool. Now I know you also do. You're the cheese sandwich guy, right? For all of our events, I know.
Yes, yeah. So I don't know. At least the last 4, 5 the chili cook-off.
Yep.
One year was asked to make grilled cheese, and it's like, okay. And
it started when the Wilk twins were in high school because you had a system with them a few years.
The Wilk twins.
And they've been out of high school for a while.
So even in college, they would kind of come home, and so I had help for a while. But the last few years, I've been kind of on my own, which has worked out fine. But yeah, we had a good system. But yeah, it's that to me, being able to give back. We were young, we were married, we were up and coming, in our life. And so financially, we didn't have a ton of money to give. And so for us, it was more time and talent and treasure that we could sort of devote and give to the church. And at the time, there wasn't a ton of young families. And so we had a nice opportunity to kind of fill a void there and be heavily involved in the church.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you and I are neck and neck every year at that chili cook-off.
I know.
Or this year we tied for.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's always a good, healthy competition.
I've won it once. I won it once, and we actually took the trophy home and broke it. So then we put it back together. I think we super glued it or something. But yeah. Yep.
That's funny.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. So. What are some people that maybe have made a big impact on you since you've been in the congregation?
So I'll start with when I was really young. So Marion and Betty Scott, I don't know if you've ever heard that name. So I'm pretty sure they had 2 boys that were like much older than me, and one of their sons had daughters around my age. But they sat, so like my family has pretty much always sat in the same area, but I'm pretty sure they sat in the very front row, but like where my family is. So like 2 rows in front of us. And I just remember like they were the sweetest people, and we would go, my sister and I think would go up and sit with them, and I don't know, they were just always there. Kind of like Don and Sigrid were to my kids when they were really little. Right. And then Carl Strasser was my Sunday school teacher for years.
Oh, now that is that's Barb's husband? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Son.
I'm sorry.
Yep, Linda's brother.
Right,
yes.
Right.
So he also has kids around my age. He has a daughter that's like a year younger than me. And they were heavily involved here. So he was my Sunday school teacher for a long time. So I think I feel like I learned a lot of like the basics from him. And then John and Betty Willman, we were in marching band in high school. And John and Betty, but Betty more so probably, they were heavily involved in that. Everybody called her Mama Willman.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah. She was like everywhere in my life. Like she was here, she was a Sunday school teacher. And then she did all kinds of things with the youth because all 3 of her kids were involved at that point. And then everywhere we went for school stuff, she was involved in that too, which was a great thing. We love her.
And Sean, their youngest, right? Sean's the youngest. Yep. He was a year older than we were. So Becca and I went to high school together in the same graduating class. So, but yeah, for me, and I know you probably have more, but for me, most of the connections, like the Wilmans and some of the others, I've just known more outside the church and through other interactions.
Yeah.
So it was great when I sort of came into the church to have familiar faces, people I knew, and obviously I've met a lot more people and really through that, but there's been lots of great connections from outside that, like the Fishers, both of their kids were swimmers, and so I got to know both of them through swimming, and I'm sure there are others that I'm forgetting to mention, but fortunate to know a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Edna Cardwell.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She used to be on the youth board
Right.
a long time ago, like when I was young, and probably before that. But she lived out by my parents, so I'm the youngest of four, so my parents weren't always available to take me places. So Edna would drive me to youth events sometimes, and I just remember she was a crazy driver. She drove so fast, just so fast, and never used her turn signals, but you couldn't say anything to her because, she didn't have that. And then I only have two more.
That's fine.
Also, Matt and Michelle Mindock. Do you know that name?
I've heard the name. I don't know.
So the years that we were doing the sound booth, they were doing it on the weeks that we weren't. And we were the only people, I know there's not a lot of people doing it now either, but we would just do every other or something like that. We would do a month, they would do a month. But we would always, like, if we had issues, we'd be texting Matt trying to figure things out. But they were that couple that was, I don't know, 5 years older than us, so that we kind of looked up to them. And their son, Maddox, was maybe 5 by the time we had Mia. So, and we still see them out and about, and every time we do, it's like a big reunion. So, and then Don and Sigrid Welton, I don't remember them as much from when I was like really little, but I'd say like high school on, they've always sat behind my parents and they've just always been really special to us. And I remember at one point, like right after I graduated high school, Don told me that I reminded him of his daughter, Annette, who passed away. Right, so that's super special. And we've just always had a really good relationship. And then when we started having babies, we realized what a goofball Don was. And he would teach Mia to be so loud during the pastor's sermons, and he would just laugh, and he taught her to blow raspberries, and he just had so much fun with both of our kids. And then Sigrid is so thoughtful. Like she, every birthday, anniversary, everything, like she comes with a gift, usually chocolate, but yeah, great people. I'm sure there are more people, but that's my list for now. Yeah.
So are there some events or anecdotes that stand out in your head as good stories from time here?
There are lots. I just feel like when we were in high school, it felt like everybody went here. Like all the people from school that we knew, you either went here or there were a few people who went to like St. Paul or something. I remember like bringing friends to church things and they'd be like, oh, I didn't realize so-and-so went here. It just felt like the place to be. There were a lot of people here, but when I was young, we had very different church picnics than we do now. I guess they used to be at Matter Park. I don't know that I remember that aspect of it. I remember doing them at a different park one time, but they would bring in like special guests. One time they had a comedian, and they would have, I guess, different people come in and like do things. And then also we used to have New Life, which was like a Thursday night event. So like kind of like what you're doing now. But that was the big one. They did soup suppers before that too. Apparently that's a big Lutheran thing. But that was a big one that I remember Edna driving me to, was that.
No, New Life. What was
it?
That?
It was, I don't know if it was for the whole family or just for the youth, but it was just an event that you would come to. There would be a soup supper beforehand, and then I don't know if it was a service. I don't really remember all the details of it, but I just remember like that was what we did every Thursday.
And that was just the youth or your whole family?
I think the whole family.
Oh, wow. Wow.
But maybe not always, because I remember Edna bringing me. So maybe it was more of a youth thing. somebody else who's older or has a better memory will tell you the details. And then Rally Day, like at the in August, well, I think it was in September, when you would start the new Sunday school year. Like that was always a big deal. I feel like they would bring somebody in, like Jilly Bean or something for that. They would bring someone in, and it would be just this huge event. It was a lot of fun. Great. It's still fun now. The kids like it. They get donuts. That makes them happy. And then just one funny story. When I went to the National Youth Gathering, it was in Orlando in 2004.
Okay.
And Eric Longenecker and Kevin Aaron were both, I don't know, a year behind me. So I was probably a junior. So they were probably sophomores. And they were in a room together with Phil Roselle. And they were goofballs, and they flooded the hotel.
Oh my goodness.
I have a picture. So we just pulled out some scrapbooks from like high school, and I had a picture of them standing. The hallway was a big puddle. I don't know what they did or how they did it, but they flooded the hotel.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
It sounds about right with those two.
Yeah, it was really funny, and it was just something we've laughed about for years. Do you have any?
Again, going through the last, 10, 12 years, I mean, just the kind of the normal stuff, the church picnic, the lock-in, the Easter breakfast, just kind of the holiday dinners. Thanksgiving, the Thursday before, is always kind of fun, and it's just, again, it's nice to have those opportunities, because we're always, I think we've pretty much always been late service, second service people, and less about, I mean, contemporary. I like the contemporary, but more just getting the kids and the time and all of that.
Sure.
But being able to interact with some of the others in church. I mean, we talked about Mama Willman, and generally hardly ever see her except in passing, because she comes to early service. And so, but no, just all of those, and the time we were both on the youth board, being able to help in the cookouts and all the sort of youth fundraisers.
I'm pretty sure you experienced your first lock-in as an adult, right?
Yes.
When we were, I think one of our first years we were both on the youth board. We were newlyweds, and we were going to help like 8 to midnight or something. And then we stayed the entire night.
Oh.
Like I have it in my Facebook memories. Like it pops up once in a while. And we were here for like 13 hours and had a blast, though. Like, and I said in my Facebook post, like, we never got tired. Like, we never had the chance to get tired.
Until we went home.
Yeah. I'm sure we crashed and realized how old we were. But that was his first lock-in. He never got to do lock-ins when he was young. So that was cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, what are some changes that have happened through the years that have been important to you?
I'd say the biggest one was the change in pastors. Pastor Carlson was our pastor until I was in college.
Oh, so that's a long time.
Yeah. So, and I remember like through the years, he would always get calls, and, we would pray about it as a church. He would ask us to, and then he announced that he was leaving. And I feel like after that, like, more things, normal changes. Some we loved, some maybe we didn't love as much, but you expect changes. And then obviously like the building addition. I'm old enough to remember that. So we didn't used to have that whole gym area. So it's like the kitchen was where the library is now, and everything was different. And then, like, I guess we do different events than we used to, which some are great. Like, obviously, I would say the one thing that's still the same probably is Vacation Bible School is still a really big deal.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like St. James has always done Vacation Bible School very well. I don't know what it is about St. James, really, but, like, lots of people come to it, and they always have. But, like, there are other events that we've started, like the Nativity Walk. I guess Easter breakfast is still the same too. But even like the Halloween event, the trunk or treat, like I can remember, I think it was when I was in like college that trunk or treats became a big deal.
Yeah.
And like we did one in the parking lot for a few years. And then when they brought it in, like that was the smartest thing. Like we come to that every year and there are so many people from Grant County here.
Yeah.
Except last year.
Yeah, last year. Well, yeah.
That was special.
Thanks to the mayor. Yeah. I like the mayor, but thanks to, he changed the day of it. Yeah, because the year before we had 1,500. I mean, it was
it's crazy.
It was insane because I was at the door and I'm going, I don't know how much longer I continue to do this. And it was just packed, and then try to get people to go the same directions. There was, this is like a New York traffic jam.
Yes.
No, going this way, come out this way. Yeah. But you're right. You're right. And matter of fact, I've run into people in town. I've been working with different agencies. Go, yeah, we know about your trunk and treat.
Yes,
it's
yes. It's great.
So,
it's a great ministry. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, there haven't been too many changes. So really, again, over kind of the 10, 12-year period, there's been some time changes with services and things that I remember a couple different times, votes and a lot of commotion within the church over that. But, Beckah mentioned the Nativity Walk, and that's something that I've been fortunate enough to participate in the last several years and really enjoy doing that. And but really, it's just, kind of, and it's what sort of makes the actual services, I guess, beautiful, nice, it's kind of consistent. Again, with a Catholic background where it's very structured,
sure.
To some degree, the way the Lutheran Church is structured, you kind of know what to expect, and so we know we're going to get out on time to be able to get to I remember there for a while they moved, I don't know if they moved the start time back or whatever, but then the big Baptist church we were competing with,
traffic getting out.
And get to the restaurants for lunch. And
that's funny. I never thought about that.
On Sundays, we always go to lunch with my parents. Like that's our thing. So after church, we always go out to lunch. So we know if we get out by like a certain time, we can go to certain restaurants.
Yeah. But if it's after a certain time, it's not
worth
that
we're rushing you, but
not worth the hassle. But I mean, only got an hour, so let's chop.
Yeah, the restaurants here in town are funny because there are certain places you can always get in, and the food's good. And there's other places you're not going to get in unless you get a certain time.
The kids always want to go to Culver's. That's their favorite. But if you go over, sorry, Pastor went too long.
And for accountability's sake, Beckah likes to talk too.
Yeah.
There are many Sundays I'm like, okay, if we're going to make it, we got to go.
Yes, it's true. I do like to talk. I like people.
Yeah.
Me too. I like people.
But my wife is usually one of the last people out here because she talks to everybody. And,
I talk to your wife a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's funny about Culver's because that's kind of what sealed the deal of us moving here.
Oh, really?
Well, my kids had never lived in a small town before. They always lived in a city.
Yes.
And so when they came through, they're looking, going, where's the town at? And I said, well, you're looking at it. And they saw Culver's. And interestingly enough, at that time, because of a lot of basketball and that, we had traveled quite a bit and we've been to Culver's. Toledo did not have a Culver's at that time at all. And they went, Culver's, we can move here. So thanks to Culver's.
Did you guys eat there often when you first moved here?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That is funny.
They still like going there. So.
And I feel like Culver's was newer at that point.
I think it was. I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That was a big deal.
That is funny.
So, and for me, it was Texas Roadhouse. Like, we got Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when that was scheduled to come in. I mean, really, I remember back when the Starbucks, like that was the big thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're finally getting a Starbucks. We're on the map. And
now we've got two of them.
Now we've got two. Yeah.
We're on the map.
Marion's up and coming again.
Yeah. So how has St. James impacted your faith walk?
I'll go first. So I feel like St. James has provided my faith walk.
Sure.
I mean, obviously I was baptized here. I went through First Communion, confirmation, all that. And I feel like St. James kind of built like that, the solid rock, I guess, of a faith walk for me. I remember like when I was young, when Phil Roselle was still around, and we would go to Rainbow Christian Camp and spend a weekend there with, I think, Phil, maybe just Pastor. And we'd have to like take these tests on all the confirmation stuff, and like 5th or 8th grade, I think we did that. And I just remember studying all of this stuff, and it's really funny because I didn't start coming to adult Sunday school until Mia was old enough to go to Sunday school. And I didn't want to just drop her off. Like, I wanted to be coming to Sunday school too. So in the Sunday school class that Darla teaches, there's so many things that like come up that it's like, oh yeah, I vaguely remember this from way back when. Like, it's just so interesting how everything comes full circle. And obviously, I mean, the Bible stories are the same, but like, you don't remember everything.
No.
But I just feel like St. James has provided obviously the knowledge, but then obviously like the relationships, I feel like have really helped with our faith walk. We've had people, I feel like, who are just a little bit older than us, or much older than us, who are great mentors along the way. I feel like I've always had someone that I could look up to or ask questions or talk to, which has been really nice.
Yeah, I'd probably just echo, especially that last sentiment, because again, this hasn't been my entire life, but it's been kind of my entire married life, and so it's the constant reminder and making sure that you're staying on the right path. And to me, religion has really been the core of my ethics and shaped who I am as a person. And so it's that relationship there. But then again, the networking, to use a business term, I guess, getting to know people and be involved in the connections. And I couldn't tell you if I've ever had a negative or challenging conversation with anyone in this congregation. It's always been very positive, and from personal to religious to anything and everything. And like Beckah mentioned, we've been fortunate to get to know a lot of great couples and role models and people that we can talk to, and so it's been a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
So, what hopes do you have for St. James? What would you like to see happen in the future?
I would like to see growth, and I know everybody has said that, but especially like with us having kids in the church, like thankfully right now there are families here who have kids with similar ages, and they love them. They all get along great, but I would like to see even more, young families and more people who are willing to like step up to the plate, I guess. I feel bad when I see like the same people doing the same jobs every week. And I guess we're part of that. We could help do things. We could, now that we've said on video that we the sound, we're going to have to do it again.
Sorry, but, I'm an usher. I can't.
Just to see growth, but to see like more people doing more things, I think would be great. And for like continuance of some kind of a youth structured events. What we're doing right now with the little youth or whatever Peggy's calling them is great.
The littles are,
the kids love that. And I don't think Leo really gets it, but Mia definitely like feels really special that she gets to like do these things and she really enjoys it. So I hope that there's always people for my kids to feel, feel really valued, I guess, within the church, but also to have friends within the church. That's really important to me.
Oh, sure.
And same thing for me. Growing up, and Beckah and I knew each other in high school, and not only did she attend all the youth events and things here, but then she would go and attend youth events at other places. JC Body Shop at the College Wesleyan Church was real popular. And so one of the things that I really hope is our kids go to Eastbrook schools. And so church and Sunday school and the friendships they'll develop here are potentially going to be with kids outside of their school system. And
Right.
so I know from a social standpoint, friendship standpoint, like it's great to be able to have different groups of friends and not necessarily just be when you're talking about a school system as small as Eastbrook. I mean, you end up developing just kind of a core group of friends and that's it. But when you have other opportunities, sports, church, things like that. So seeing hopefully a more thriving youth group, more, I still consider us younger families, probably because we have younger kids, but you know, that's an area that unfortunately the church has kind of struggled to attract over the last however many years. I mean, there was a time when Beck and I were kind of the only younger group, and so I mean, the Wests come back from time to time, and the Wallaces are here now, and there's a lot more younger families that come and than there have been in the past. So continuing to see that growth, and that for us, for our family, for the church itself, and I would love to continue to see that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So is there anything I didn't ask you or that you want to add in, or?
I don't think so.
Yeah. No, I you know, my dream since I was a little boy was to get married at the same church that Julia Roberts got married.
That's a lie.
You know,
That's so
fulfilled that dream back in 2014. So
you know, there's two stories that are told in the Senate that everybody kind of knows. We know where it is. There was this church somewhere that allowed part of the Star Wars trilogy to be filmed inside the church. It was Missouri St. Lutheran Church.
Oh.
And then there was this church somewhere in the Midwest where Julia Roberts made her allow of it. And I heard that story over the years. And so I got the call here. I asked somebody that I knew, what do you know about Marion, Indiana? And they were telling me stuff. And then I looked it up and I said, oh, look at this. This is the church. This is the church. So,
That's funny.
Yeah. And it gets quoted sometimes by somebody in the paper or somebody or some meeting I heard about in town, you know.
Yes.
oh yeah.
Random piece of information.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna pause for a minute and we're gonna bring in Mia and Leo to talk. So we're privileged to have Mia and Leo with us also today. And I know Mia is going to ask a couple questions. So what is your favorite thing about coming to church here?
I like to go to Sunday school.
Oh, okay. Okay. And what's your favorite thing about Sunday school?
We get to make crafts.
Oh, okay.
And
Anything else you like about Sunday school?
I get to spend time with the teacher,
Oh, okay. Now who's the teacher?
Mama Pat.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
No one.
So anything else you want to say? Okay.
What do you want to say?
Anything else?
I like reading the Bible.
Oh, good. That's good. Cool.
Okay.
All right. All right.
Good job.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for joining us for our 75th anniversary conversations, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. Okay, go ahead and turn.
Walking these streets, shadows fall, lost in a world, echoes call, searching for life, voices true, St. James Church in the heart of the blue. Glorify God, nurture all, share the gospel, hear the call. That is what we do at St. James, breaking chains, singing new names. pushing through the night, feeling small, seeking the answers stall. Windows of gray, stained with hue, where mission shines through. Glorify God, nurture all, share the gospel, hear the call. That is what we do at St. James, breaking chains, singing new names. Heartbeats pounding, truth revealed in the silence.